Shah is not surprised about this. He's been waiting for this for many years. Madam Web, which is a small property out of the Spider-Man world with some spin-off female characters, some very popular, some not so popular, uh, uh, is in theaters this weekend. It got released earlier this week to some of the worst reviews. Forget comic books, forget of all time. I mean, it debuted with a 15% in Rotten Tomatoes. It is now at 14%. I can't even believe this is real. 14% with an audience score of 57%. This is a very expensive film. I want to say this is somewhere well above 120 million, maybe close to 140, 150. They spared no expense here. But Shah, this is supposed to be one of the worst pieces of shit of all. 80 million. Okay, so let's say with the marketing, we're about 150. Shah, it's supposed to be a human toilet bowl of a movie. Unredeemable, terrible, like laughable, bad plot, bad acting, one of the worst horror movie villains of all time, and no Spider-Man. Shah, is this what you've been waiting for?
You know who won't be watching this?
America.
I can guarantee you that, dude. I already know you're gonna ask me. Have you seen this yet? Nope. Don't plan on it.
It looks so bad.
Yeah, dude. This is gonna be a fucking.
It looks. Some people said the director should never be even allowed near a movie set ever again with how terrible this is. Like, it's supposed to be terrible. What has this woman done other than get a pretentious pair of glasses? Toast? Like, I've never heard of any of this. Is she American?
Toast and Mistresses, yeah.
Mistresses. Okay, kind of something I know a lot about, but is she not American? She has a non-American look there.
It says British television and film
director. British! Okay, yeah. She looks like a pretentious British person, which I love my Brits. We all know this. Manchester forever. B-Show, why? Like, there's just so much to take from this. Why are they doing this? When will they stop? What will it take?
I think it takes the stuff that Bob Iger said last week, that they just have to clean the slate and focus on streamlining their properties to more popular stuff. I mean, if you look at the wide chasm between the public fawning over what happened with Deadpool and Wolverine, and this fucking abomination piece of shit, like how do you not have Spider-Man and Madam Web? First of all,
I don't, because these are not comic book people.
And that's the big problem. And that's one thing that, like, we're all wrestling fans, right? And that's one thing that I think Vince Russo does get a lot of flack for, is he wasn't a wrestling person. They say you can't be involved with wrestling because you're not a wrestling person. I think he brought fresh ideas, but he also didn't know the business through, coming out of his pores organically through osmosis.
Yeah.
And when it came down to it, it showed in his work. So when you look at stuff like this, where they just go, "Oh, you did a documentary about the Congo? Yeah, why don't you come and do Kraven the Hunter?" Like, why?
Exactly. That's funny.
It's like the two have nothing to do with each other, and it doesn't matter. And we're going to take these characters in different directions, and it's like, no, just do what people want. Just do what people like. Play with them, but do what people want to see, man.
Shah, do you think this is the only film genre where you could have no experience in the genre and be given $100 million+ in a franchise?
I mean, based on history, yeah. I can't name any other genre you can do that, really.
I mean, honestly, like, if you made like a small market, like $200 million horror film, right? Do you think they would give you the Mission Impossible franchise?
Yeah.
Well, Shah, do you think this? I mean, we are very well versed in horror more than this, but we have seen horror people get elevated, but not in this extreme way, right? I mean, like, we've seen horror people get elevated.
Yeah, I mean, Sam Raimi, right? He did the Spider-Man movies.
Well, yeah, he went from like Evil Dead to Darkman and The Simple Plan, and but it's a progression, right? I mean, like,
he had the portfolio to show for it. It's not like he just overnight became that person. But no, I agree.
Yeah, like, I don't know who directs these Fast and the Furious movies, B-Show, but I'm fairly certain it's not a guy who made an alt movie about, relationships in Thailand middle school. Like, you know what I mean?
Do you think it's because these are all tied to Disney, and Disney is very much in the vein? And I don't want to sound like fucking what's it called, nerd-erotic. As much as I like their videos, they're getting a little ridiculous.
Yeah, I think they're gonna come after me tonight. By the way, but we'll talk about this offline. Yeah, they are.
But do you think it's because Disney is very, very committed to activism that you see so much of this, where they'll pull a documentary filmmaker to make a Star Wars movie instead of someone who's because, like you said, Sam Raimi he made low budget movies that made a shitload of money. They were critically acclaimed. Then he did Darkman, which it wasn't a runaway success.
They gave him a lot of money for that. Was a massive uptick for him. It was a franchise they gave him.
So it's not like there's a difference between taking an unknown and giving them $100 million budget, or taking Robert Rodriguez in 1995 and giving him Spy Kids. I mean, Robert Rodriguez had a track record like Sam Raimi. This is completely different.
Completely.
I don't know.
Completely different. And, it's kind of unforgivable. Shout out to Zane Vicious in there. There's people in there saying, like Galactic Wrestling Federation is saying, I think Disney's spending the money to justify future budgets. Yes. Joe Punches is saying Sony doesn't want to lose their rights. That's the gist of the shit, and I hate it. Yeah, I mean, it's a hodgepodge, but Shah, the head of Disney, last week just came out and said they're not doing this shit anymore. So maybe this is a palate cleansing thing, and they'll go back to making 2 or 3 big properties a year that actually make money without worrying about ESG scores, right? I mean, that they have to stop at a certain point.
Yeah, I mean, I don't watch any of the Disney stuff, but I follow a lot of YouTubers that talk about it, and I think that the most common thing in all of the reviews is that they're tired of all the Disney series revolving around Marvel, because it's overwhelming and everything has to be connected. So you need to watch this one to really appreciate this movie. So, with everybody's schedules being tight and everybody having to work like 14 fucking jobs and working 63 hours a week just to make ends meet, who has time to watch 17 episodes of each of these series just so you can go to the IMAX and understand Spider-Man? You know what I mean? It's just like, it's a little bit much.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to say this. I don't know that I'm doing this. I haven't checked the movies for this weekend. I might go see it just to talk about it. I might go see it just to talk about it, because I want to see how bad. I heard this is like walkout bad. So I would like to see it for myself. Somebody said it makes Morbius look like Scorsese. Which I still haven't watched, because I like the character, but that actor, it makes me very uncomfortable. Like, I don't know, something about that Jordan Catalano guy from what the fuck's his real name? I never remember his name.
Jake Gyllenhaal?
No, the guy who played the Joker, who before what's his face got the role. The guy was the cult shot. Who's the guy with the cult? The actor. I never remember his name. He's got the 30 seconds.
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto. He's a great actor. I'm just saying he's a fucking weird guy. I don't know if I could watch him be in a comic book movie being weird for 2 hours. I heard it's not terrible, but I'm not interested. I like Morbius. I'm a fan of the Midnight Suns, and that's some of my favorite 90s comic books with Ghost Rider. But I might go see it. I probably won't. There's other things I'd probably rather do, like get a colonoscopy, take an AIDS test on the fly, that kind of thing.